Alright, what is up guys? Here talking about the Sony press conference in 2016, which just happened a little while ago. I wanted to get my video out sooner, like right away, instantly. I wanted to get the video out right away, right after the show ended, because I was super hyped, and I still am excited about it, but I don't have that hype in my bones. Kind of slipped out a little bit. I was trying to get the video started and I couldn't, but here we are now. So I'm going to go over almost everything that happened in the Sony conference, and it was impressive, man. It was so cool. We had, I don't remember who it was yesterday. Was EA and Microsoft, or was Microsoft's today? Damn it, I forget. I know I missed something this morning. I was asleep and I woke up and I missed E3 and I was like, no! But EA's conference yesterday was really cool. I actually really liked it. It was a good one. Even though they do, you know, do the whole sports focus pretty majorly, I was happy with EA's conference, and I was also happy with whoever came after them. I wish I could remember who the hell it was. But that was yesterday. This is now. So I like that. I was like, all right, that's two nice conferences down. Right on. And that was actually, they were good conferences. They're pretty cool. Then Ubisoft came out and had their conference, and I was like, whoa. That was easily the best conference I've seen so far this year. You know, I liked it. It was my favorite conference. It was a lot of fun. Aisha Tyler was back, and she's amazing. She's awesome. Hashtag girl, what up? She's awesome. She's great. I actually got to see her live once as a stand-up comic. And what else was there? So Ubisoft. So there was the three good conferences, right? And then Sony came out and just dropped the nuke and just destroyed everybody else that I'd seen so far, because Sony's conference was damn near perfect through the entire thing. It was so good, man. It was so freaking good. So I want to talk about the things that happened, what they showed off, and let's get into it, shall we? God of War rebooted. God of freaking War. Now, this game looks really super cool, but I definitely was not necessarily fully heartbroken, but I did feel a little bit sad about the new God of War that I saw. This looks really damn cool, but it's not God of War. It's got the attitude, you know, of course he's just tearing enemies apart and stuff, and that's really cool. Some great new awesome moves, like the throwing the axe. Pretty epic stuff. But it reminded me of Resident Evil, the Resident Evil series, how Resident Evil 4 is where that series just went downhill. I know for some people it went uphill. For me, it went downhill. I liked the fixed camera angles. That's what really made the atmosphere what it was and gave that such a creepy feeling to a game. Because you couldn't just control the camera. You had to follow the path, and I don't know. It definitely was different. I didn't hate Resident Evil 4 or anything like that, but that was where it changed. Everything changed after that. It was no longer Resident Evil. It became a freaking action shooter, third-person shooter kind of a thing, you know? And that's what this one looks like. God of War. It looks like they put Kratos in a Dark Souls game, basically. I don't expect the difficulty to be the same as like Dark Souls or anything like that. It might be, who knows? But that's what it's like. It's like putting Kratos in a Dark Souls game. So that's definitely disappointing. Other than that, I mean, the game actually looks really cool. But I was really disappointed by that. So, yeah, you got this little mini boss fight, or I don't know, it might be a full boss, but looks like it's probably not a full boss, because it is small. I mean, the main bosses in God of War games are like 100 times the size of that guy right there. So he's big. He's like one of those little mini boss enemy types. But yeah, the game looks cool. It just doesn't look like God of War anymore, which is the disappointment. And that's the disappointment part, you know. But it looks like it'll be a really cool game. One thing that I did notice throughout the little walkthrough that they did was there was a part where they walked into a new area and it said like discovered. I didn't memorize the name of the area they discovered, but they discovered a new area in the game, right? So I was wondering, is it kind of a semi-open world game? Do you get to explore or something, or was that just something they decided to throw in? You know, because usually you don't see like discovered this area unless you're in an open world type of game. You know, in previous God of War games, you wouldn't be discovering an area. It would just tell you that you've reached this area. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see if it might be more open world. They didn't show that much. They didn't show an open world. There was no open world demonstration in the actual game, except them walking through a world, but it was linear, you know, or linear, however that word's pronounced. I need to find out one day. It was straightforward, you know, it was just on a path. And it definitely gave you stuff to look at, you know, you could look around and stuff, but I didn't really get a full idea on if the game would be open world or not. We'll see. We'll find that out. So that was God of War. I'm not gonna let the whole video play out, not for spoilers or anything, but just because I'm not gonna sit here and watch this whole thing. Definitely cool, but disappointing. And for me, I'm not, like I said, the game looks really cool, and I am excited for it, and I will most likely get the game. It's not God of War anymore. Now it's something different. So next up we have Days Gone, and I am really looking forward to showing you this because holy crap. This is Days Gone is I believe a new IP. I don't remember which developer did it. Crap, sorry. But it's a new game that has a Last of Us kind of a vibe and a end of times kind of world and stuff. What I want to show you, I'm not going to show you the whole trailer or anything, but I wanted to show this off because this is freaking awesome. Now it's a normal third-person shooter-ish kind of game. Survival style. There's zombies, but they're faster than zombies. It's a different version of zombies kind of thing, right? But this you gotta see what happens. This is so crazy. And the demonstration they did was obviously meant on purposely done to show how many enemies can be on the screen at once. Because if you're in a game like this and you're running from enemies, you're not going to try to shoot them all like that. Maybe you're supposed to in this game. He does seem to have unlimited freaking ammo throughout this entire demonstration. I mean, look at the amount of enemies that are just swarming after him. It is insane, dude. And as a regular gamer, like even actually, this is probably something I would do. I get bored running from enemies. This is why I don't play Dying Light. Well, it's partly. There's actually a much bigger reason that I don't want to go into right now. But part of the reasons I wouldn't play them more often, the Dead Island and Dying Light games, is because you spend a lot of your time supposed to be running from enemies, and I like to kill stuff. I don't want to be running from it, Apparently later on, maybe in those games later on, you can face them more often, but early on in those games, you're running the whole time, and I'm like, I want to fight everything. I want to kill things. So if I was playing this game, I'd probably do the same thing. I mean, like, just you got this swarm coming after you, and it doesn't make much sense to actually try to kill them all. But he's laying traps down, popping explosives. You see the logs that all kind of exploded to block the path and all that kind of a thing. So definitely it looks like a faster paced kind of survival horror game. Now this is just, of course, one scene. And again, I really believe that they did this specifically just to show, look how many enemies we can have on the screen at once. So, Dead Rising kind of a vibe to it. So many enemies on the screen. But I'm definitely going to let this play out to the end, which is why I'm trying to think of what else to add to it. But not much to say, I wanted to show you this, because this, if you think it's cool here, right? It's insane. So this is cool, man. I was watching this and I was like, this is obviously a demonstration, because how many of us as a player, if we're playing this game, unless we know we're supposed to kill them, right? If I was playing this game, I wouldn't expect the game to think I'm going to kill all those. I'd be like, apparently I'm supposed to run, I'm gonna die. All these things are gonna eat me and kill me, because that's just too many. There's way too many enemies. So, for the demonstration, apparently the guy has unlimited freaking ammo. Oh, look at me, we got an axe. We got an axe now. Now we can melee the millions of zombies that are after me, what? No, it's an axe though. So this is called Days Gone. You know what, I think I'll skip to... this is pretty cool. I don't know. This looks really cool. It doesn't look, really any different than games we've already played before. But just because we've already played this kind of game, this is what always bothers me when I watch people review a game or talk about games they don't like. It's like, oh, I've already played this game before. Well, you will never play a game that isn't like something that's been done before. Well, maybe not never. Okay, that's pushing it. It'll happen. One in a million games will be different than everything else you've played. Pretty much, 1 in a million games. So people that act like, oh, I've already played this before, that always drives me nuts. That doesn't stop a game from being fun, entertaining, and cool. This is really cool stuff. This is amazing, and it only gets better. This is insane. Look at all the crap. Look at all those enemies, and they're fast too. They're stupid, but they're fast. They can't climb through windows. You know what I mean? It's funny. They can climb a freaking roof, but they can't climb through a window. Oh, it's so funny. But it's demonstration stuff. Oh my gosh, this is awesome though. So many enemies, just going at it, man. So that, I mean, that looks fun, but I want to skip to the end because it gets even better. But we're getting there. It's pretty close. This isn't that long, I don't think, anyways. Come on, buddy, hurry up and run. He's tired. He's worn out. He's like, dude, I don't care about how long this drags out your video. I'm gonna take my time and get some breath. And you know what? Well, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna skip it. Let's see. So we got him climbing. He's got a bajillion zombies after him. He's climbing out of the building. Like he's running all over the place. He's been zigzagging in and out everywhere, and these things just keep coming. It's freaking nuts. We're almost there. I love this part. He's crossing the bridge. Oh my gosh, just leaving a trail bodies covering that bridge, man. It's so friggin' funny. That is awesome. It was just epic. Again, this game is called Days Gone. Because this is a new game. It's its own IP and stuff. I'm making sure you know the name of the game because it's really damn cool. Days Gone, guys. Days Gone. And here we go. He thought he was done. He took down all those enemies, thought he was done, and then... You can't survive that. You can't survive. Dude, no freaking way, man. That ain't how... You are not surviving that. I don't care who you are, what kind of video game character you are, whatever, man. That game looked cool. Next up is Horizon. This is just new gameplay we got, and right here, I wanted to show this off because... This is just cool. So apparently, every animal apparently is mechanical. When I first saw this game, I wasn't sure if all animals were going to be mechanical. She uses her spear to hack the enemy. Like that's just crazy, weird, and cool. She got a it looks like a wooden spear, and then she jams it into the robot and takes control of it. It's freaking hilarious. That's really cool. A lot of the combat so far looks like she relies on the ranged weaponry as well. So far, and the demonstration they show here, it's a lot of bow shooting and stuff. Switching the kind of arrow she fires and stuff, but it's all bow stuff. That's beautiful though. So I've been looking forward to this game. This has definitely been on top of my radar. Like it's, you know, I'm surprised I haven't pre-ordered already, but I don't usually pre-order too far ahead of a game's launch. You know, there's no reason to pre-order a game like a year when it's a year away, half a year away, whatever. You know, like I can wait to pre-order that. It's not like I'm gonna get some super major like 6-month, 12-month freaking pre-order bonus. You know what I mean? So whatever. But let me see if we can skip to the fight here, because I also wanted to show the fight. There's part of the fight that's really cool. This one. So this creature actually jumps after her and stuff. Like, wow, that's a really nice... Like, whipped out his tail at her, and then boom, dude. Like, what? That thing came flying through the air at her, dude. That was really, really damn cool. There's lots of destruction that goes on. He threw a freaking boulder at her. I mean, that's amazing. But there was one key part I wanted to show. She runs, she's running along, and then she grabs on her, jumps on her mount, and starts fighting the dude. Like, that is super cool, man. That's super cool. So there's new gameplay of Horizon, and I wanted to talk about that and show it off a little bit real quick, because that is pretty awesome. It's definitely one of my top games I'm hyped for. But after today's Sony conference, dude, it just added an entire list of games. I'm just like, I cannot afford all of these. Let's get into some more. We got a game called Farpoint. Now, this is another thing. This was a big thing to me that I loved about the Sony conference was once they got into the VR, there's so much VR announcements, so many things for VR, and it looks great. And they have some great looking games. Let's show off this first one here. This is called Farpoint, and this is a VR game. It's a first-person shooter. You know, the world looks really interesting. And I skipped forward. This isn't the entire trailer or anything. I actually skipped most of these trailers that I've showed. I've skipped through a lot of it to get to a part that I wanted to put in my vlog here. So if you're, I didn't mention that. I forgot to do that. I've skipped to like a specific points to have them play out and stuff. So before they get to this part in this game, Farpoint, they actually show like a bunch of scenery, and it's really beautiful. And I am so excited for VR. Look at this thing. This is a VR boss. That is an enemy in a virtual reality game. That giant freaking creature, dude. Like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, whoa. You know, I'm telling you, man. Some of these early games in VR have not been that impressive. You know, they're just really basic, like puzzler games or walking simulator games and stuff like that. You know. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. I like those games. I like walking simulators. I love Journey. I love Everybody's Gone the Rapture and some other games that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. You know, I enjoy these games a lot, okay? So do not get me wrong. But yeah, lots of VR stuff going on, man. And let's see, so they're doing Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR missions. And I don't know if that's, I'm assuming that's a game in itself. That's what it's called, like Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR mission. It says they call it mission, I guess, but I'm imagining there's more than one mission in it. But that's, you know, like what Rogue Squadron kind of stuff, but virtual reality. You get to fly your X-Wings in virtual reality, and that's coming to VR, PlayStation. I imagine, I don't know if it's going to be exclusive. It might be on Xbox as well, but this was the Sony conference. Although, you know, they do show games that aren't only exclusive to their systems. So anyway, Star Wars Battlefront VR game for VR. Batman Arkham freaking VR. The trailer for that was nothing. It had Mark Hamill's voice, unless it was either Mark Hamill or somebody really damn good at perfecting mimicking Mark Hamill's Joker. So you don't really see much. You see a bunch of black moving around, whatever, and you know, it's the mask, the Batman mask, and it's Mark Hamill Joker doing the voiceover for it, and turns out it's a Batman Arkham VR game. VR missions. Again, I don't know if they automatically include these for people that already bought, like, say, Star Wars Battlefront, if they automatically get the VR mission on their account. You know, same with Batman Arkham. I don't know if you already own Batman Arkham Knight. My best guess, though, is I'm pretty sure these are going to be their own games. But I could be wrong. It'd be cool if they were free, but I doubt it. Apparently, they did say that they're going to be launching the VR with 50 games. Of course, most of those will probably be like, whatever, just VR showcases, really, right? You know what I mean? We'll see, though. But definitely Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing mission and Batman Arkham VR missions. Like, give me the VR, please. I want that so bad. That's amazing. On top of that, new gameplay trailer for Final Fantasy 15. Really nice one, too. Great one. I should have popped that on here. I didn't get that prepared. But the new gameplay trailer for Final Fantasy 15 is really good. Lots of gameplay, lots of different action scenes, great music, really good trailer, really good. And on top of that, Final Fantasy 15 will also have VR missions. I'm so excited for VR and PlayStation, man. It was funny, I was watching that conference and I was like, you know, I've never been more excited to own my PlayStation until now. Like, this is, like, all the stuff, their show was so good, and I'm really excited, especially for VR. I was not expecting to be this excited for VR. Like, I was really into it and I wanted it, but after, like, now I'm like, yes, because they're really getting into it now. And like, now with the games they showed, Farpoint looks great, right? As a first person, I don't even know who did that, who the developer was, but it was like, it wasn't like, it didn't look like, I don't think it was like a AAA developer or anything. It was just one of their VR games, and it looked really cool. Star Wars looked really cool. Batman Arkham, Final Fantasy 15. These are all VR games. These are AAA games. They're up there big. And I forgot about this. The first one they revealed for freaking VR. I forgot. I don't know how I missed this line in my notepad. Resident Evil 7 VR. The trailer was really good. It started slow and boring as hell, and it was funny too, because I'm watching it going, and I was like, oh, this is a VR thing, right? You could tell because it's like first person creepy, like looking around at all this weird crazy stuff. But it was also boring. You're like in this old house and it looks nasty. It looks like like where a serial killer would live or something, right? Something like that, leaving his axes around and whatever. Just a really ugly, broken down building and stuff. And you're walking through that, and I'm like, okay, whatever, dude, I get it. This is gonna be VR. You're gonna be walking through this stuff, and it is creepy, but it was a boring trailer, like, right? It was just like, I don't care. Don't walk me through this. Stop walking me through nothing. But then a bunch of weird, crazy stuff started appearing on the screen, like a melting dog. It was weird, and I forget what else. Very weird stuff was going on, and I was like, whoa. It got really trippy, and then it went into the title, like 7, right? Like it's the Roman numerals came out with 7, and then Resident Evil, like, over that, and I was like, the E and the L became the Roman numerals became the letters in the end of Resident Evil. It was really damn cool, and it's gonna be VR. So, oh my gosh, dude! Oh, I can't wait. I think it was October. Everything's coming out this year, October, November. That's everything that they've been showing at E3. October, November, everything. I'm just like, that is so much stuff. It's gonna be like Christmas, except broke Christmas, where you can't buy all the games you want. and the VR on top of that, you know, $400, not a horrible price, but that is a big chunk of money on top of your console, as well as if probably most likely gonna want or need to buy the new PS4 to really run. That's what I read last. I don't know if they've done firmware updates, if they plan firmware updates for the PS4, the original one already. But the last I read was that you're going to need the new PS4 to really run the VR without any issues, without any motion sickness, with like the full effect that you can get, the best kind of results you can get from it. So on top, you know, I already own a PS4, now I got to buy another one and the virtual reality set, and I can't freaking do that. Although I guess I could, if I do monthly, I'll probably do that. I'll probably do the monthly thing. I'll go to Best Buy and be like, Phone Lens, I'll pay this over a year, you know, like I just remembered that. Yeah, alright, cool. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure they should do that. I think there's like an amount of, anyways, whatever. I'm probably gonna do that. Lastly, the last video I have for you, there's a few more little things that I want to show, and I could have done trailers for all this, but I didn't really want to do a trailer for every single thing. Especially because a couple of them weren't really much to show. Like Resident Evil 7's trailer was cool when it ended up being virtual reality, and it ended up being Resident Evil. After the first half was so boring, and then it got trippy and cool, and then it was Resident Evil, and I was like, whoa! You know, it was really cool. But some of these I didn't show. I could have done the Star Wars one. You'll definitely want to look that up. The Star Wars Battlefront VR looked really cool. But I'm gonna, alright, one last video for you guys. Now this surprised me. And people are still gonna be dumb about it, and like, it sucks, whatever, and whatever. But so there's, let's see, where is it? Let's get that on the screen. I don't know why this one's really laggy for me for some reason. But this made me think of, I can't remember what the hell game it was. There's a new game that came out on PC. There's a couple of them that are kind of like this, like these flying space shooters and stuff. And first, I can think of it, I can picture it in my mind, but I can't like say it. I can't get the words for some reason. But this, believe it or not, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It looks so cool, man. And people are gonna be hating. No, I don't care, man. This looks so cool. This was like they did this whole trailer where they lead up to the part where you get into the cockpit of your jet. No idea what game this was. Some of it was like, it seemed like it had like a, you know, Call of Duty thing, but the stuff that it was all futuristic. We're in space, and I know we were here, we were gonna be in space and stuff, but this didn't look like Call of Duty. Like all this stuff, I was thinking, is this the Titanfall campaign? Seriously, I thought this was the Titanfall 2 campaign. You got the grapple hook, you got going through space, you got like, you know, this stuff, and I'm like, is this the Titan? But at the same time, I was like, I don't think this is the Titanfall 2 campaign because there's not enough parkour going on, right? But of course, they're in space and floating around, so how much parkour are you gonna do? But for a while, I was like, is this another Killzone? You know, like, what is this game? You know, the whole trailer is so good, man. It's so good. I was like, holy crap. So you start the whole thing, you know, it leads up to the part where you get in your cockpit, you fly through space, you're out here, you do the ship battles, you're flying around, you're shooting at other jets in space and whatever. You get out of your jet, you're running around gunning people down out in space. It's so funny. It's really freaking cool, man. I dig this. This is so cool. And then after this scene, he gets back in the jet, back out into flying combat again. Just so much badassness, man. So much badassness. Just, oh my gosh. So all the Call of Duty haters, I don't even care. This game looks so damn cool. And that's, you know, my favorite thing about this is the campaign looks so damn cool. I'm hoping the multiplayer won't be as disappointing as Black Ops 3 for me. I can't stand Black Ops 3, especially compared to Advanced Warfare, because Advanced Warfare actually is advanced, especially compared to Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is a freaking joke. I don't want to sit here and trash that game, so never mind, whatever. The campaign of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, so cool, man. So cool. Really looking forward to that. And then they did show the trailer of the remastered Call of Duty, was it Modern Call of Duty 4? I was not familiar with all the titles. There's been so many. But you know, the remastered version that's coming with Infinite Warfare if you pre-order. They showed a trailer for that as well. So we'll stop this trailer now. We'll just get rid of that. But yeah, the Infinite Warfare trailer, so cool, man. Like I was like, I didn't even know what game it was. I couldn't tell. I was like. And like it was like starting to get to near the end, I was like, is this really Infinite Warfare? Because in my head I was like, if this is Infinite Warfare, that's amazing. I was not expecting like the new Call of Duty to be that much better, because Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare looks really damn good. So next up, there were a couple things I missed. There were like a couple Legos games. They did the new Star Wars Legos game. I skipped like 2 things throughout the show, which not that I hate them or anything. I just was like, whatever, not for me. They did mention they have Crash Bandicoot remasters of 1, 2, and another game. I'm calling it 3 because I don't know what the third Crash Bandicoot was, but they're doing remasters of Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2 and whatever the third game was. They had an actual separate name for it, so that is cool. It didn't have me super hyped, I was like, that's cool, but I don't really care, because especially compared to all this other stuff, I kind of felt bad for Crash Bandicoot, but it did get a big crowd cheer. A lot of people were like, yes, I mean, I've seen people asking for this for a while, and especially after Uncharted 4 came out, and you get to play a little level of Crash Bandicoot on there, people were like, oh man, they need to bring this game out, and they're bringing out the whole freaking trilogy, apparently, so that's cool, for PS4. Then we had Hideo Kojima, with one of the coolest entrances I've ever seen. He got an entrance that, like, forgetting his damn name would get. The musician, oh well, I remembered it earlier when I didn't even try to, and now I can't remember it. But he had such a cool entrance. He came out, and the trailer that they showed is called Death Stranding. Death Stranding. A very weird name. And it was definitely not the same as PT. We saw the demo of PT, right? But the thing is, they didn't really show any gameplay in this new trailer. They had Norman Reedus, right? Starts off naked. That's a trippy trailer. It's really trippy, and had me going like, I need more of this. I need to see what's going on here. What's the game gonna be like? Because the trailer itself was so good. It was weird and my kind of thing. Because I love weird, trippy, crazy, like stuff, like Memento, the movie Memento, if you've never seen Memento, or Fight Club, stuff like that, Vanilla Sky, just weird, trippy stuff. I love that kind of thing, so that was cool. So Hideo Kojima, Norman Reedus, you got to check out the trailer for Death Stranding. I should have got that too. I didn't want to put up trailers for just cinematics. No, I didn't want to sit here and watch a cinematic with you. I wanted to play some gameplay while I talked about it. And that's why I didn't get the trailer for that. So definitely check out the trailer for Death Stranding. Weird and super damn cool. Really cool. Next up, we had Spider-Man by Insomniac Games. And when I saw the first they showed Insomniac Games, their name came up and I was like, ooh, what do we got here? And then Spider-Man came on and I was like, yeah, Spider-Man by Insomniac Games, this is going to be so great. And then it looked exactly like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. And I was like, okay, well, it'll be cool. Because I like the Amazing Spider-Man games. I like them. I liked Edge of Time, and I liked I've only played like 4 or 5 of the million Spider-Man games lately, but I liked Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and I think the Spider-Man by Insomniac games looks cool. What they showed off looks really cool, but it also looked exactly like, it basically looked like Amazing Spider-Man Part 3, right? So but I'm pretty sure Insomniac Games didn't do the first 2 games, did they? I should look that up. I don't know. I didn't remember them doing the first 2 games, so I was thinking, well, they got a new developer. Why didn't they make their own game? They basically did what Warner Brothers did with Batman Arkham Origins, although that is my favorite game in the entire series, was Batman Arkham Origins. And that's what they did. They just they did the same thing that was already done and did their own, just made it their own story and whatever. Sort of, since an Arkham Knight story was a lot like Origins. Anyways, no, I was kind of like, all right, well, the game is definitely gonna be cool. Like, I think Spider-Man by Insomniac Games will be cool, but it was, I was like, eh. And I remember that I did see, what was really sad. I think Sucker Punch would have like probably surprised me a bit more if they had done it, because I did see, like, I don't know, there was like I was doing a search a while ago, like a month back, and apparently there was like a leak of a new Spider-Man game done by Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch are the people that make Infamous, for me. They do other games as well that are really popular, but Infamous for me is like my thing about them. So when I saw like this leak of them doing Spider-Man, it turned out it was denied. They were like, no, that's, it was fake, basically, is what they were saying. It was like a photoshopped image or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would love that. So Insomniac Games, I saw their name. I was like, all right, man, they're Insomniac Games doing a Spider-Man, and I already said that. It just was, it'll be a cool game, but that was kind of a letdown that it looked exactly like both Amazing Spider-Man games. As far as like gameplay, like it just was like, okay, well, Cool. Another Amazing Spider-Man, you know? Cool. But alright, I've gone over everything that I liked about the show, man. Almost got everything. Almost. Just missed, you know, like the Lego thing was... I like Lego games, but they don't keep me playing them or anything like that. Thanks for joining me, guys. Let me know what you're excited about. Do you agree with me? I mean, do you feel as hyped as I am over the whole Sony conference? Because it was pretty almost damn near perfect through the whole thing. It was a great show, and I saw one of the developers of Quantum Break actually tweeted out, you know, it was smooth. You know, nobody was like jumbling over their lines or anything, and it just went so smooth. It was really good. But you know, I have seen a lot of the other conferences have had people that have not been up there. I've never seen them up there on a conference, and a lot of people that you see these new people come up that have not done these demonstrations before, and maybe that's why. Maybe this, you know, the Sony conference, yeah, all the dudes that came up were already familiar. They've been there before. They've done it before. You know, so they're more comfortable. So it went really smooth. That's what it is. It's experience. You know, they've got more years of E3 than the other people, the new people that are doing it for the first time. You know, so of course they're gonna be nervous and kind of mess up. But it was a really cool conference, man. And I am so excited for PlayStation VR, dude. Oh my gosh, I'm excited for VR in general, right? In general, I am. I want to play VR. Definitely super hyped, and I'm planning to pick up VR on PlayStation. It really depends on how things go. Hopefully, they're going to be able to firmware patch the original PlayStation 4 to work fine with it. But if they don't, that means I have to buy an entirely new PS4 as well as a VR kit, and that's not something I want to do or look forward to doing. I'm definitely, of course, going to try to trade in my PS4, but I'll probably get shit for it, maybe $50 if I'm lucky, right? And that's, I might as well throw it in the trash. But other than that, yeah, whatever, man. I definitely want the VR stuff. Pretty cool show, man. Anyways, thanks for joining me for the video, guys. Hope you have an awesome, awesome day. I'll see you guys around. Bye.